Out of water and require immediate assistance. There are 4 people on board. Mayday. U.S. Coast Guard Kodiak, Alaska. ETA to scene 15 minutes. 15 minutes. All stations keep a sharp lookout for signs of distress.
We're right outside Dutch Harbor, and we've just got a nasty weather report with some storm force winds heading our way. The safest thing to do is to turn around and head back into port. The autopilot is set. All you need to do is run the throttle and control the speed. Why don't you take the wheel and see what you got?
Left click and drag the throttle handle all the way up to get the boat to full speed. Or you can look around the boat by holding down the right mouse button while moving the mouse.
One of us is gonna get sick, and it ain't me.
You can center the view again at any time by clicking on the middle mouse button, or by pressing the 5 key on the numeric keypad. Keep the throttle up and head for the harbor. You need to get into the bay before the storm hits.
Got some battle scars now.
Don't move the rudder. You will disengage the autopilot and set the boat off. Good job. You made it back safe.
Well, it looks like the weather came down real nice today. And we need to get over to the other side at the dock and pick up Matt. He's been shopping for groceries and all our supplies. Why don't you take the boat and run her over there? I'll sit back and watch. Just don't crash my boat.
You can bring up a list of all the game controls at any time by pressing the F1 key on your keyboard. You can look around the cabin by holding the right mouse button down while moving the mouse. There's a group of sea lions on the shore to your right. Turn the camera to look at them now. Good. You can center the view again at any time by clicking on the middle mouse button. Matt is waiting for you at the dock. You'll have to navigate through the entrance of the bay to go pick him up. The radar shows you points of interest around your boat. The glowing dot on the edge of your radar shows the location of the dock where Matt is waiting. Your boat is always pointing up on the radar. The display rotates to show you where you are heading. You can use the compass directions around the display. The plus and minus buttons on the right of the radar display and the plus and minus keys on the numeric keypad let you zoom the display in and out. Click on the minus button several times until your destination is visible in. Left click and drag the throttle handle all the way up to make the boat move forward. You can also keep the throttle up to reach the entrance of the bay. Don't forget to use the camera controls or the reset view button to see where you're going.
You know, that's the Coast Guard Melon out there. He's a 400-foot cutter. Right now we're on a collision course with him. You do need to stop and let him pass. These are the rules of the road you got to follow.
Bring the throttle back to its center position to stop the engines. You can also press the home key on your You can move the rudder lever left and right, or use the left and right arrow keys on your keyboard to steer the boat. Try turning the rudder now. The rudder angle display shows the current angle of your... Push the rudder to the right for a few seconds until your rudder shows an angle of about 20 degrees.
Hey, that looks like the shellfish. It seems he's going into the bay as well, and by that puff of smoke I just saw coming out of the boat, he wants to race us in there. Why don't you hammer down, see if we can't beat him in?
What? You guys want to race? You're gonna need a faster boat than that to beat us.
Go full throttle to beat the shellfish to the entrance of the bay. Now would be a good time to center the boat. Clicking on the rudder angle display. Click on the rudder angle display or press the end. Steer your boat into the bay before the shellfish. Well done. You beat the shellfish to the entrance of the bay.
Way to go! Looks like we beat them in there. The shellfish is always bragging about how fast they are. It turns out Northwestern has all the speed you need.
You can use the mouse wheel or click on the... Good. When zoomed out, you can use the controls at the bottom of the screen to drive the boat. You can look around your boat by holding down the right mouse button while moving the mouse. Try looking at the dock to your left. A bow thruster is a device that shoots water from the sides of the bow. It can be a very useful tool when docking or maneuvering in tight spaces, since it allows the boat to turn without having to use the throttle. Push the bow thruster stick to the left, or press the delete key on your keyboard to rotate your boat towards the dock. Good. You can go ahead and dock the boat now. Use the throttle and rudder to make your way to the dock and come to a full stop inside the glowing box. Slow down as you get close. You need to come to a full stop inside the box to dock the boat.
You guys sure took your sweet time. I've been waiting here forever.
You know, I think we've been screwing around the harbor long enough. Why don't we get out to sea and go set some strings and start fishing? Let's see how you do.
Head past the harbor buoy into the open sea. The plotter is where you plan your fishing strategy for the season.
The plotter is one of the greatest tools on a crab boat. It can give you an overall picture of where your pots are laid out and all your strings. It'll tell you where you're at compared to all of your gear and how far these pots are spaced out. Plus, it gives you different depths on the bottom as well. Plotter is really important to a crab fisherman.
You can zoom in and out on the map by using the mouse wheel. You can look around the map by holding down the right mouse button and moving the mouse. Or you can also use the controls on the side of the screen to navigate around the map. The display tabs control what kind of information is visible on the map at any time. Click on the Survey check.
Every summer, the Alaska Department of Fish and Game conducts a survey on how many crab are actually out there for us to fish. It's a good idea to look at the survey to get an idea where to start. Just remember, the crab do tend to move around.
Now that we have an idea of where the crabs are located, let's go ahead and plan where we'll drop our pot. A line of pots is called a string. Click the left mouse button anywhere on the map to start creating a string in the plotter. Good. Now move the mouse to where you would like your string to end and click the left mouse button again to create the string. Good. Now that you know how to create strings, let's go and place one where we'll be fishing. There seems to be good crab in this location. Make a string between the two glowing points indicated on the plotter. Now that you know where you'll be dropping your gear, you need to get in position so you can start fishing. Using the left mouse button, click and drag your boat icon all the way to the... Now that a waypoint has been set, good. You now know how to plan strings in the plotter. Click on the exit button on... At any given time, the crew can be in any of 4 modes: rest, set pots, retrieve pots, and chip ice. The crew is currently in rest mode. As soon as the crew is in set pots mode, they will start working to get a pot ready to launch. Navigate your boat close to the drop position. The drop position is only an indication of where you planned your lines in the plotter. You can get close to the first drop position and wait for the crew to be ready to drop the pot.